Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans. Things have been pretty rough over there with New Orleans. It's been just a terrible, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for the Pelicans this year. We're going to talk all about what's going on this season, the future, everything about New Orleans here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership if you want to learn more about the membership. There's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Like my Twitters, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, talk about the New Orleans Pelicans today. Things have been very, very terrible, very bad. Like, it's been as bad as you can get. They are currently 4-16 through their first 20 games, last in the Western Conference, and it's just injuries. Injuries have killed this team already, really. You know, they've not had their rotation play a single second together. Everybody's been hurt. Things have been very bad, and it's just I don't really know what else to say. Like it's tough because I was high on the Pelicans coming into the season. You can go back and watch my Western Conference prediction video and stuff. I had the Pelicans as a 6th seed in the Western Conference this year. I just believe with this roster, the team they had, bringing in DeJounte Murray, I just was high. I was a fan of this team, and I was like, you know what? I think this team can finally have a really good season. But I guess that's what I get for putting my faith in a team that can't stay healthy. Because throughout this entire era, I guess, of Zion and BI and this roster, they just have not been able to stay healthy. And it just really sucks. You know, I went back and looked at the last couple years and looked at this team, and it was. I mean, they have just not been able to stay healthy. That's just been the end of the day. They have not been able to stay healthy. Going back to 2022, Willie Green's first year in New Orleans, Zion missed that entire season because that was the year before he had his All-Star year. 2022, he missed the entire season. Brandon only plays 55 games, and they went 36-46. 2023, Zion only plays 29 games. Ingram played 45 games, and luckily they went 42-40 and went over 500, but they still missed the playoffs. Last year was the healthiest year they've had. Zion played in 70 games last year. BI played 64. Trey Murphy only played in 57. They went 49-33, were the 7th seed, were in the play-in, fell to the 8th seed, and lost in the first round. And that only happened because Zion, who played in 70 games, he had an amazing season last year. He gets hurt in the 7-8 play-in game against the Lakers, misses that game, misses the next game, then misses the entire first-round series. And BI, who missed a big chunk of the second half of the season, had to come back in like the last week or so, and all of a sudden be a number 1 option against the Thunder and got clamped up by Lou Dort, putting him in a bad position. And then went 49-33. Coming into this year, they traded for DeJounte Murray. They still had the roster. I was confident in this team, and now we're here, 4-16 through 20 games, and it's just really rough. I mean, look at the games played as entire roster. There's only 2 players on this team that have played in every game this year. That's Javonte Green and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Those two probably weren't even supposed to be factors this season. They have played in every game. Yves Missy, the rookie, has played 19 games this season. He's been one of the better players on this team. 19 games. Brandon Boston Jr. has played 17 games. Brandon Boston Jr. has played 17 games this year. Brandon Boston Jr. wasn't even supposed to probably touch the court this season. And he's played in 17 games. He started in 10 games this year. You know? Who else? Daniel Tice has played 15 games. Jamal Cain and Trey Jamison have played in 12 games. Those two, probably, again, weren't even supposed to touch the court this season. They have both played in 12 games. Antonio Reeves was like the 56th pick in the draft. He's played 11 games for this team. Like, it's crazy. They signed Alfred Payton, and 5 hours later, he was starting for them. Alfred Payton got signed that morning, and then a couple hours later, he was starting in a game for them. And he's actually been pretty solid. Like, it's crazy. BI's played in 16 games, but he has missed the last couple games because now he has a back injury. And he's been in and out, and we don't really know what his timetable looks like. You look at the games. CJ McCollum 7 games, Trey Murphy 7 games, Zion 6 games, DeJounte 3 games, Herb Jones 4 games. Like it started from the get go, where Trey Murphy missed the first month of the season basically due to an injury he suffered after getting an extension. Then first game of the season, Zion doesn't play because he's sick. Then in that first game, DeJounte Murray breaks his thumb, and he's gonna miss a couple weeks after having surgery. Then Zion comes back. Then CJ McCollum and Herb Jones both get hurt, and they're gonna miss an extended period of time. Then we find out Jordan Hawkins has a back injury. He was in and out of the lineup. Then all of a sudden, randomly, Zion has a hamstring injury, and we don't know when he's coming back. And then a little while later, Jose Alvarado has a hamstring injury. He's going to be out for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then Bi has been in and out. Now he's going to be out for a couple games, but now Trey Murphy's back, CJ's back, DeJounte just came back, so Jordan Hawkins is playing. So I guess we have a little bit of things still here, but it's like I just don't know what do we do? What do we do with this team? And it's tough because they're 4-16. They're gonna really have to go on a stretch because in the Western Conference right now they're currently the last place in the West. They are 4 games behind the 13 seed. They're 4 games out from being 13th. Portland is 8-12. They're 4 games better. So you're gonna have to win. You're gonna have to go on a streak just to get to the 12th seed, 11th seed. You're gonna have to go on a streak. So it's not even telling what you have to do to get to an 8 seed, a 7 seed, a 9 seed, which looks probably impossible right now. But it's tough. They're gonna have to really go on a stretch where you have to win like 8 of your 10 games, nine of your next 12. Like you're gonna have to go on a stretch. But honestly, they can't even do that right now because they're still not healthy. They still don't have Zion. They still don't have Bi. They still don't have Herb Jones. 3 are the most probably important players on the team in terms of having to win. You know, and that we haven't. We just this has been the thing for the Pelicans the last couple years. We have never seen this team fully healthy at all for an entire season. Right, last year was the closest we could get, where Bi still missed like 16 games or 18 games, and Zion missed 12, and the play in the playoffs. So it's like, man, I don't really know what we do here. I really don't know, and it's tough for Zion because you can watch my prediction videos and stuff. I was really high on Zion coming into this season. Like I really thought Zion was gonna have an All NBA type of season, and he played in 6 games where he played all right, and now he's out. And now, honestly, who knows when he's coming back? I still don't think we have a timetable on when Zion's coming back. Like there's honestly, we cannot rule out the possibility that Zion won't come back this season. We can't we cannot rule out the possibility that Zion might not come back. He might not come back. That's a real possibility. With the way Zion's injury history and stuff has been, that he might not come back this year. We might not see Zion again until 2025. And that it's just it's so confusing. It's so crazy because it's like, man, what do you do now? That's really the bulk of this. What do you do if you're David Griffin? Where do we go from here? We're 4-16. You're gonna have to do crazy amount of work to get back into the play-in and playoff picture. You still don't have your top 2 players on your team. Herb Jones still is out. You're still having to run Alfred Payton and Javante Green and Jeremiah Robinson Earl big minutes. Like you're still gonna have to do all that. DeJounte and CJ just came back from injury, so they're still gonna have to work in stuff. And they've also lost the last 2 games, by the way. They got embarrassed by the Toronto Raptors, and then they lost yesterday to Memphis. So they're still not winning, even with some of their players back. Trey Murphy also has been a guy that's been in and out of the lineup, even because he just came back from surgery. And so, where do we go from here? If you're David Griffin, what's the direction? Where do we go? We're 4-16. Do we just play out the rest of the season in terms of whoever's healthy, go out there and play, and we're gonna try to salvage anything we can, and maybe find a way to get back to a 10 seed and make another play-in appearance? And even if we do make the playoffs, we're gonna be an 8 seed and have to play against the Thunder again. Not even, and no guarantee that you're gonna have your full lineup out there at all. Do we do that? Do we retool in terms of do we trade a couple guys? Like maybe do we trade CJ McCollum? Do we trade Brandon Ingram? But we keep Zion, we keep the core around, and we just try to retool from here. Do we tank? Do we just fold our cards and be like, you know what? Brandon Boston, use Missy. All you guys just go out there, develop, BI Zion, take as much time as you need at all. If you're 100% healthy, then you can play. But if you're not, just stay on the bench. We're just going to forfeit, kind of like with the Grizzlies last year, where they just kind of like, at one point, they're like, you know what? Desmond, you can stay on the bench. Jaren, if you want to play, sure. But we're just going to take this season, get a top 10 pick, and we come back next year and regroup. Next year, is that what we do? Where you just take the rest of the year, get a top 5 pick, get like a Ace Bailey or whoever or someone, and we just regroup and hope for the best next season? Like, I don't really know. But the thing is, you kind of can't really comfortably do that because you still have the Brandon Ingram situation. Brandon Ingram was on the Brandon Ingram was going to be a free agent after this year, and he was playing really good basketball before he got hurt. So what do you do there? Do you just do you trade him now? Do you trade him during the season? Well, you're probably not going to get the craziest value back, but you trade him now so you don't have to worry about it. And even if you do trade him, what are you looking for now? Are you looking for future assets now and future draft picks? Because you're going to go into a full-on rebuild of this team? Are you looking for win now players and hope that next year Zion and them are healthy and you come back next year and just retool like that? Do you pay him? Do you pay him the money because you have no other choice? Do you let him walk? What do you do with Brandon Ingram? You know, because if you do pay Brandon Ingram, are you comfortable with paying Brandon Ingram $30 to $40 million a year? Zion $30 to $40 million a year. DeJounte Murray $30 million per year. Trey Murphy $25 to $30 million per year. Herb Jones is going to be eligible for an extension. Are you comfortable paying about 3 to 4 players 30 to 40 plus $million to be a team that hasn't made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 seasons? Are you okay with that? You're okay with being a second apron team that has shown they can't stay healthy for an entire season? Are you okay with that if you're David Griffin? Are you comfortable there? I don't know if you would be comfortable. So they're in a really tough spot right now where they have to kind of choose a direction they have to go, but no direction seems really like the truly right answer. 39-win team and maybe you get to a 10 seed in the Western Conference. Like, is that worth it? Missing out on a top 5 pick and just kind of doing that? If you do trade some players away, like BI, CJ, what are you getting back for them? Do you keep Zion around with DeJounte Murray and just say, you know what, we're gonna retool with DeJounte, Trey, Zion, and whatever we get for CJ and BI, and we just go next season and try to hope that this is the roster that works? There's just so many different directions and options that this can go, and I wouldn't want to be in David Griffin's shoes right now because there's so much uncertainty on what this future holds for the Pelicans team. Like there's really a possibility, not a high possibility. I wouldn't bet on it, but there's a possibility that this team looks entirely different next year. This is a completely different roster next season, and they just clean house maybe. But I really just don't know what you do if you're New Orleans, man. It's been a bad season. We just gotta wait now and see. We gotta wait now and see how this situation goes and what the future holds. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.